Hi everyone, this is Tyler with Flying Development Studio. Picture this, you're flying into your favorite airport on infinite flight. The pattern is full, each aircraft following the next, and they all appear to be forming a perfect line. This is sequencing at its finest, so today I'm going to give you the tools to master the art of sequencing. Alright, let's jump right into this with an example of sequencing. Cactus 5 has just departed runway 12 left, and Air Canada is on left downwind for runway 12 left, so we're going to say number 2, traffic to follow, is on left downwind. Now the reason sequencing is so important, and the reason that it will greatly improve your pattern work as a controller, is it puts the separation responsibility on the pilots when they're in the pattern. So rather than saying, I'll call your base or extend downwind, we're simply telling an aircraft that, hey, this is the person you're following, and you turn base whenever it's most appropriate. Alright, as our aircraft get going and get airborne, let's talk about where you can find sequencing. So if you go to your main tower command list, you're going to see pattern instructions. And if you watched the last video, you know that pattern instructions are used for inbound aircraft and runway changes. So go ahead and scroll down to number 11 and you're going to see sequencing. Now as a tower controller, if you have a full pattern, you will be in number 11 a lot. So we're going to keep rolling here, and we have Southwest 42 has just called inbound. It's about 20 miles away. And right now we're only utilizing runway 12 left. We have 2 aircraft on the downwind. So we're going to tell Southwest 42 to enter straight in runway 12 right. That way he can come inbound at his own pace. It's wide open. And I'll show you a little bit of runway changes with sequencing here coming up.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 12 left, Navy 30. Thank you. Good day. Echo Victor Alpha 10. Southwest 42. Enter straight in runway 12 right. Enter straight in runway 12 right. Southwest 42. Victor Alpha 10. Cross runway.
Right here we have Cactus 5 is requesting a runway change to runway 12 right. So from the last video, we're just going to tell him enter left downwind runway 12 right. Now he's going to turn his base safely behind Air Canada, and we're good to go. So I've already given him the runway change, and now he's been cleared for runway 12 right, making right traffic. Now departing runway 12 left, we have Navy 30. I told him to depart runway 12 left, make right traffic. So I'm going to show you how to give a runway change while sequencing. So here I want him to enter the right downwind for 12 right. So we're going to say enter right downwind, runway 12 right. And remember, we changed Cactus, so he's now going to be number 2, traffic to follow is on left base. And you can see Cactus is turning left base now. So rather than me telling Navy 30, hey, I'll call your base, and when it gets busy and you might forget about him, you're already done. Navy 30 already knows, okay, I see the aircraft that I'm following, he's on left base, and Navy has already been cleared. Okay, we have one last aircraft to worry about, and that's Southwest 42. He hasn't been sequenced, so we're going to tell him number 3, traffic to follow is on right downwind. He's following Navy. So let's stop this situation. I see a conflict coming, and if Navy doesn't turn base soon, you're going to have a pretty tight situation because Southwest is going to be clearly faster than a Spitfire. So I'm going to help the situation by saying Navy 30, turn base. And that ensures that he's going to turn base with plenty of space to maneuver. Southwest isn't going to run him over on final. So even as the controller with sequencing and putting that separation responsibility on your pilots, you can still help nudge them in the right direction, and you can still control your pattern a little bit when you need to. Okay, so now let's talk about accommodating the aircraft in your pattern. If you've ever been in a Cessna 172 in someone's pattern and you're following a 777, you know that it can get pretty boring having to fly to a 10-mile final. It'll take about 20 minutes per pattern. So right here we paused it, and I'm showing you that Navy 30 is about to enter a right downwind for runway 12 right. Now I'm going to accommodate a bit of a tighter pattern for him and let him be number 1. So as you can see, Cactus 5 is clearly ahead of him. But I'm going to go ahead and tell Navy 30, number 1, runway 12 right, clear for the option. So that lets him know, okay, I can stay on an inside downwind here and be number 1 to the runway. Now immediately after I clear him, I'm going to go right back to Cactus 5, and I'm going to tell him number 2, traffic to follow is on right downwind. So he goes, okay, I'm following Navy. So as you can see here, like we just discussed, I've cleared Navy 30,
Virgin
And now we're jumping right over to
5419.
Cactus.
Navy 30, number 1, runway 12 right.
There you
Clear
go,
for the
pattern
option.
instructions,
After the
down to
option,
number 11,
make right
sequencing,
traffic.
number 2,
Number
traffic
1,
to follow is
clear
on
for the
right
option.
downwind, and you are
Runway
done.
12
You just need to
right.
clear
Navy
Cactus
30.
and moving on.
Southwest 42.
So
Request
we
a
have
change to runway
Southwest
12
42 is departing
Cactus
12
5.
right.
Number 2.
Now,
Traffic to
he
follow
wants
is
a
on
runway
left
change to
downwind.
runway 12
Number
left. So,
2.
as we
Traffic to
remembered,
follow is on
pattern
left
instruction,
downwind.
enter
Cactus
left
5.
downwind, runway
Air
12
Canada
left.
35.
Number 2,
Number
traffic to
1.
follow is on
Runway
left
12
base.
left.
So we see up
Clear
in the
for the
top
option.
of our
Number
screen,
1.
Air Canada
Clear
is
for
on
the
left
option.
base, 12 left.
Runway 12 left. Air Canada
Alright,
35.
at this point you might be
Southwest
saying, what the heck
42.
is going on?
Enter
So let's
left
pause it
downwind,
and
runway
let's just
12
talk
left.
about
Number
what we
2.
have right now.
Traffic to
Air
follow is
Canada is on left
base.
base, runway 12 left. Southwest 42 is just departed 12 right, and we changed this runway to follow Air Canada. Navy 30 is turning base for runway 12 right. Remember, we gave him number 1, so we allowed Cactus 5 to follow. So if you've really been paying attention, you know the last thing we need to do is clear Southwest 42. So this scenario is done. We're going to fast forward a little bit later in the day, and let's talk about what we have here. Alright, now I want you to ask yourself, with the current situation that you're seeing right now, which aircraft needs a sequence? If you said Southwest 42, you're correct. We've already sequenced him. So the sequence would be number 2, traffic to follow is on left downwind. We can see that Cactus 5 is number 1 for 12 right. Canada is number 1 for runway 12 left. So the only person that needs to follow someone would be Southwest 42. Now I want to take this opportunity to answer a question that I hear probably the most, and it's, when should I sequence? Now, as an air traffic controller, I learned early on, don't keep secrets. If an aircraft is departing and you know exactly who he's going to follow and where he's going to go, like you can see right here with WestJet 44, don't keep the secret. As soon as he's departing and he's turning left crosswind, I'm going to tell him number 3, traffic to follow is on left downwind. So if you wait to tell them when they're on base or final, well, it's a little too late, because ultimately the purpose of sequencing is so that they know who to turn base to follow. So the same goes for clearances as it does sequence. As soon as it's applicable and they're turning crosswind, or even right after departure, go ahead and throw that sequence at them, and if you have nothing else left for them, just go ahead and clear them. When it gets busy, you'll be glad you did. It's one less thing you need to do. Right here, we're recapping a little bit from what we went over earlier. Navy 30, we're going to accommodate another tighter pattern for him, so we've cleared him for number 1, and Cactus 5 was just sequenced to follow Navy. So the next big question is, what do I do if an aircraft declares a go-around or executing misapproach? Well, if they're remaining in the traffic pattern, there's no need to be redundant and tell them go around, make left traffic. You've already acknowledged that they're going around because they told you they're going around. So all we're going to do here is tell him enter left downwind, runway 12 left, number 3, traffic to follow is on left downwind, so he's following WestJet. Now, something that happens pretty often is users may have connection issues, mom might be calling them for dinner, they gotta leave, and you might say, well, I just sequenced Air Canada to follow an aircraft on left downwind. Well, now he's gone. So simple fix here, we're just going to go back to our pattern instructions menu, scroll down to number 11, and sequence Air Canada to follow Southwest. So that sequence would be number 2, traffic to follow is on left base, and you're done.
Number 2, traffic to follow is on left base. Number 2, traffic to follow is on left base, Air Canada 35.
Alright, fast forward here a bit, and now we're just going to have a little bit of fun. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to see a triple approach. I don't know if it's going to work out, but it'll be cool if it does. So we're going to tell Navy 30 enter right downwind, runway 11. So as you can see, we only have a few aircraft in our pattern, so let's accommodate everybody. Let's not make anybody wait in long lines. If a Spitfire is, all by himself on the right downwind and he can have his own runway, let's make it happen.
Enter right downwind runway.
Okay, Air Canada has just told us that he's going to be a full stop, so we just give him number 2, clear to land behind Southwest.
Number 2, clear to land, runway 12 left, Air Canada 35, Navy 30, number 1, runway 11, clear to land.
Alright, the last thing I'm going to show you here is Southwest has just departed runway 12 left. Now, the traffic that he would be following is Air Canada, who's on a little bit of an extended final, about 5 miles. So, we're just going to tell him to go ahead and enter a left downwind for runway 12 right. Traffic to follow is on final. So now this is going to keep our pattern moving, and Southwest is not going to have to turn such a long base.
42. Southwest 42, number 2, runway 12 right, clear to land. Number 2, clear to land, runway 12 right, Southwest 42.
Okay, I think you all have mastered sequencing, so let's do a quick recap. Open your tower command list, go to number 2 pattern instructions and scroll down to number 11. Click sequencing, and you can turn your basic pattern that looks like this into an organized pattern that looks like this. Everyone knows who they're following, and it is beautiful. So, when you're sequencing, first we issue the sequence, and then we clear the aircraft. So remember, we don't keep secrets. If an aircraft is inbound or requesting a runway change, issue the pattern instruction followed by the applicable sequence, then clear. Aircraft going to a different runway shall be given separate sequence. And as always, if you have any questions or just want to see more tutorials, visit community.infiniteflight.com. Thanks for joining. Have a good one.